The price of every dream is not paid in a single day, it's paid in daily installments. You don't go to the gym once and get strong. You don't save one paycheck and become wealthy. You don't read one book and become wise. The little things done daily build the foundation for the big things that last. That's why I say a success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day, while failure is simply a few errors in judgment repeated every day. It's subtle. So subtle that it sneaks up on you. Miss a day, no problem. Miss a week, you start to drift. Miss a month and you've lost the rhythm of progress. Say discipline is like a muscle. It gets stronger with use and weaker with neglect. And if you ever find yourself saying, I'll do it tomorrow, remember this. Tomorrow is the most crowded day of the week. Everyone wants to start tomorrow. But tomorrow never comes for the procrastinator. It only comes for the doer. Let me tell you a story about consistency. Years ago, I had a friend named Harold. Harold was a dreamer, a big one. Every week, he had a new idea, a new plan, a new project, and every week, he'd abandon the last one. One day, I said, Harold, you've got more starts than a horse race, but not one finish line in sight. He laughed and said, Hey, Jim, I get bored easily. And I said, That's fine, Harold. But you can't build an empire on excitement, you build it on endurance. Because enthusiasm starts the engine, but discipline drives the car. It's easy to be excited on day one. It's what you do on day 101 that counts. That's when the price gets real, when the novelty wears off and the work begins. When no one's cheering and the results haven't arrived yet. That's the price zone. And the secret to mastering it is habits. Let's talk about habits for a moment. Habits are the invisible architects of our future. Every day, whether you're aware of it or not, your habits are casting votes for the person you're becoming. The successful don't have more hours in the day. They just have better habits in those hours. And you can't buy good habits with money. You buy them with repetition. That's the real currency of change. Consistency over time. Now, here's the thing. Habits work both ways. They can work for you or against you. A bad habit is easy to form and hard to live with. A good habit is hard to form but easy to live with. The key is deciding which discomfort you'll choose. Because you're going to feel discomfort either way, discipline or regret. But one leads to freedom. The other leads to frustration. Let me pause here and talk about the price of personal growth. You see, success isn't something you chase. It's something you attract by becoming the kind of person who deserves it. Mr. Shoaff said that to me once, and I wrote it down and never forgot it. Because here's what I discovered. Every goal requires a new version of you. If your dream is bigger than your current habits, you've got to grow. If your vision requires more skill, you've got to learn. If your destiny demands more courage, you've got to strengthen your spirit. The price tag of every goal includes the person you must become to achieve it. Now, growth is not always comfortable. It stretches you. It tests you. It humbles you. But discomfort is the birthplace of progress. If you avoid the pain of growth, you also avoid the rewards of success. See, the caterpillar must struggle in the cocoon to build the strength to fly. And so must we. The struggle isn't there to stop you. It's there to shape you. Every obstacle is a hidden invoice asking how much do you want it. Now let's turn to something many people misunderstand. The philosophy of wealth. Wealth is not just about money. It's about freedom. It's about having choices. It's about living life on your own terms. And that freedom comes from understanding that money is a servant, not a master. If you don't control your money will control you. Mr. Shoaff told me at Jim, if you don't have a plan for your money, somebody else will. That's why financial independence begins with awareness. It's not what you earn, it's what you manage. You can make $100,000 a year and be broke, or make $30,000 and build wealth. Because it's not about the amount, it's about the attitude. Let me give you some financial principles that changed my life. Number one, keep part of what you earn. Seems simple, doesn't it? But most people spend all they make and then some. You've got to learn to pay yourself first, not last first. If you only save what's left after spending, you'll never save a dime. So here's the rule. Start with 10%. If you can't do 10, start with 5. If you can't do 5, start with 1. The point is to build the habit, not the amount. Because saving is not a matter of amount, it's a matter of attitude. Number 2, invest in things that grow while you sleep. If you work for money all your life, you'll always have to show up to earn it. But if your money starts working for you, that's when freedom begins. And number 3, never mistake a lifestyle for wealth. Just because someone drives a fancy car doesn't mean they own it. Just because they live in a big house doesn't mean they're free. Real wealth is quiet. It doesn't need to shout. It's peace of mind. It's the ability to say a no when everyone else is trapped saying yes. That's the kind of wealth that endures. Let me ask you something. What are you currently trading your time for? Because time is the ultimate price. You can always make more money, but you can never make more time. So be careful how you spend it. Spend it on learning, on growing, on building relationships, on creating value. And don't spend it on bitterness, jealousy, or excuses. Those are expensive habits with no return. There's a story I love to tell. A young man once came up to me and said, "I'm Mr. Rohn, I wish I had your life." And I said, "Good. Let me tell you how much it costs." He looked surprised. So I said, "It costs 20 years of waking up early, studying late, taking notes when others were sleeping, failing when others were afraid to try, investing when others spent, serving when others complained." He said, "That sounds like a lot." And I said, "It is, but it's the best deal I ever made." Oh, yes. See, there's a universal law that says you don't get what you want, you get what you deserve. And what you deserve is determined by the price you're willing to pay. So if you want a big reward, you've got to make a big investment in yourself, in your habits, and your character. The good news is that the universe always pays fair wages. It may not pay every Friday, but it always pays. And when the harvest comes, it's always in proportion to what you've sown. So sow generously, work diligently, believe consistently, because that's how you pay for your dreams. One seed, one act, one day at a time. Now let's talk about another kind of price, the emotional price. See, success doesn't just demand your effort. It demands your emotional strength. You've got to deal with rejection, setbacks, criticism, even loneliness. There will be days when no one believes in you. Days when progress feels invisible. Days when you question everything. But those days are the crucible in which champions are forged. Don't shrink from them. Don't run from them. Endure them. Because in the end, pain refines purpose. Every great success story you admire was once a story of someone who refused to quit. Let me remind you of something profound. The same pain that breaks some people builds up. It's not the event. It's the response. You can't control every circumstance, but you can always control your attitude. That's the ultimate price tag of success, your attitude. Because attitude determines access. The right attitude opens doors, attracts allies, and turns obstacles into opportunities. So tonight, as you think about your dreams, remember this. Don't just count the cost, embrace it. Because the moment you say, "Yes, I'm willing to pay the price," you activate the forces of change. Life starts working with you instead of against you. You become magnetic. You become focused. You become unstoppable. And when you finally reach that goal, when you stand in the home you built, the business you grew, the freedom you created, you'll look back and realize something extraordinary. The dream was never about the reward. It was about the refinement. Because the true price tag of every goal is the person you must become to earn it. And once you become that person, no one can ever take it from you. You know, I used to think discipline was a punishment word. When I was younger, every time someone said a discipline, I thought it meant restricted. Oh, no fun, no spontaneity, no freedom. But then I learned something that changed my entire philosophy. Discipline isn't a punishment. It's the gatekeeper of freedom. Let me say that again. Discipline is the price you pay for freedom. If you don't pay that price, you'll spend your life paying rent to excuses, fear, and regret. Because here's the paradox. The people with the least discipline often have the least freedom. They have to say yes to things they can't afford. They're stuck in jobs they don't like. They're trapped by habits they never tamed. While the people with the most discipline enjoy the most choice. They've earned the right to live on their terms. So the question is, who's freer? The one who does what they want in the moment, or the one who's trained themselves to build a future? That's the great trade. Short-term pleasure for long-term peace. And once you taste real peace, the kind that comes from mastery, you'll never trade it back for temporary comfort again. Let me tell you a story about a man named Michael. Michael worked with me back in my early days. Brilliant guy. Sharp dresser, smooth talker, but he had one weakness. No follow through. He'd start strong. He'd light up a project like fireworks. But then the next week,